Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on ARC Salt Lake. I'm Jamie McGriff. It's Monday, December 8th, and tonight we are taking a look at increased immigration action here in Utah. Last week we told you about a Utah husband and father arrested by ICE at his immigration interview in Salt Lake City. His attorney says that he has no criminal record and would have walked out of that interview with an approved green card from the U.S. government. 2 News' Leslie Duarte spoke with his attorney.
For all the people who think that they're just getting criminals, I am an example of them tearing our family apart.
Lexi Sellis, a U.S. citizen, never thought something like this would happen to her family.
I just feel betrayed. I feel no U.S. citizen should have to go through this.
Her husband, Jair A. Sellis, was in his final steps to get his green card when he was detained by ICE at his immigration interview on Tuesday.
We've tried to do everything the right way. We have, and he's not here.
What does JR's case show?
JR's case shows that the rhetoric that is we're going after the worst of the worst, that's not true.
Sellis immigration attorney Andy Armstrong.
Lexi and JR have been married, lawfully married, filled out the proper paperwork to apply for residency for JR. He entered when he was a young child on a visa, and so he had a legal entry into the country, which allows him to adjust status here in the United States.
2 News reached out to USCIS and ICE for comment on this case. I asked why Jair A. Sellis was detained, but they did not get back to me in time for this report.
Under what circumstances can an applicant be detained at an interview?
I mean, any applicant who's out of status, this is any person, whether they're applying at USCIS or they're just out on the street, if they're not in a legal status to be here.
For Lexi Sellis,
I want him to be home before Christmas.
now attorneys fear that these cases and arrests like this could happen more often, but they do say that if you have DACA, TPS, seeking asylum, or any type of protection, you may be able to get some help and have some protection, but they advise it's important to contact a legal immigration legitimate attorney. Reporting in Salt Lake City, Leslie Duarte, KUTV 2 News.
Leslie, thank you. Today, protesters gathered outside the U.S. Customs and Immigration Services building here in Salt Lake, following reports online that ICE plans to detain people going to required immigration meetings there. 2 News spoke with Democratic and state senator and congressional candidate Nate Bolin about the increased efforts and targeting of this facility.
It's typically the people that are coming to USCIS that have hearings and meetings here are immigrants who are trying to do things the right way, who have taken steps to be legal residents here in the United States and are trying to get a green card or other lawful residency. And so to basically bait and switch, to trick them into coming here and then enforce against them, to potentially deport them, hold them in custody, is just really sad. It's un-American. It goes against what we've come to know as the Utah way. And I'm really frustrated that this is something that people have to worry about. When you start to see this, you push people back into the shadows. I mean, these are people that, again, have lives in the community. That their neighbors know them. They have kids in our schools. They're using our resources and they're paying taxes. And so you discourage them from doing all of those things. You say, even if you are taking steps to do things in the way that the government has asked you to do, that we're still going to come after you. And I think that's totally wrong. We heard from the Trump administration and other folks, Utah representatives, that this is about getting criminals out of the country, and that's just not what we're seeing. We're seeing people who are peaceful residents who have, who have lives here, kids. You're good. Lives and kids going to school, and they are essentially now having to worry about coming out into the community because these new programs, these new policies that are coming out are enforcing against them in places that they haven't seen in the past.
Since President Trump took office 9 months ago, a research group connected to UC Berkeley says ICE has arrested 220,000 people. Nearly 75,000 of them are like J.R.A. Celis, and had no criminal record. The Homeland Security Department says that some of the people arrested may actually be facing criminal charges in their home countries. All right, this video is coming out of South Florida showing ICE arrest a U.S. citizen. Agents forcibly removed the woman from her car, dragged her across the ground on the side of a busy road. A spokesman for U.S. Customs and Border Protection says ICE agents did it because the woman refused to hand her driver's license over after being pulled over. Once ICE realized she was a U.S. citizen, they let her go. And you want to look at this tense moment in New Orleans between ICE agents and a woman. Surveillance video shows Border Patrol agents in masks chase 22-year-old Jacelyn Guzman down a street. She ran into her parents' home, and that's when agents left. Later, the Department of Homeland Security says they were looking for someone convicted of a crime and that Guzman matched the description. We'll keep you updated on the stories on how ICE is impacting families on KUTV.com and on the 2 News app. Yes, now turning our attention to the weather. Much more mild night ahead. Meteorologist Sean Kelly with that first alert forecast. Where is the snow?
Well, it is nowhere to be found. It's actually up in the Midwest and Northeast. They're going to be dealing with the cold and stormy weather here in the next several weeks. Meanwhile, ridge of high pressure system doing its thing and keeping us dry, keeping us mild here. Even through the overnight, it's pretty mild as those temperatures will only stay into the mid and upper 30s, staying above freezing. But again, our average high for this time of year, 40 degrees, and we sailed right past that today. Let's get to your maps. Let's show you what's going on. And again, looking at some of those high temperatures today, there it is. 54 was the high here in Salt Lake City. Again, 14 degrees above normal. 58 in St. George, Palm Springs, Phoenix there. Plenty warm into the 70s and 80s. Right now, we're at 43 degrees with mainly clear skies. Car wash forecast also looking pretty good. You have the all clear here. There could be an isolated shower tomorrow, but generally things will be pretty quiet as we head through the week. Though we're going to be talking about how mild it will become, worsening air quality, and the next storm that will clip us from the north is coming up. My first alert weather forecast.
All right, Sean, thank you. This weekend, an effort to begin to restore land in a southern Utah canyon after a wildfire burned nearly 35,000 acres last summer. It's part of a state watershed restoration initiative. Samantha Hoffman reports from southern Utah.
The DNR is about halfway done with fire restoration in the Monroe Canyon. In the next few weeks, they'll start on the Forsyth Fire burn scar. There, they're going to add plants which help absorb water and prevent flooding. Next up, they're targeting the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve.
Well, the rocks are so beautiful. The red color is very enchanting.
The Red Cliffs Desert Reserve spans nearly 70,000 acres, but is just a small portion of the Mojave Desert, which the DNR says needs help.
To be burning every 2 to 5 years is a way too frequent.
Gary Bezin with the DNR said fires are getting bigger and bigger. Red Cliffs not only borders downtown St. George, it houses threatened wildlife.
There's a lot of challenges that are associated with fires and loss of habitat, and so we're trying to, again, prevent unburned habitat from becoming burned and losing that desert tortoise habitat.
Right now, the land's biggest threat, an invasive plant called cheatgrass. It reproduces quickly, sucks the water from other plants, and dries out.
So then it becomes a continuous carpet of dry vegetation as summer comes on that is then a very flammable source that can carry a fire for large areas.
The DNR is working to remove the plant with herbicides. In this photo, you can see the line of treated versus untreated areas. They're starting with spots closest to roadways, which have a high risk of ignition.
There's a lot of different ways that fires start from vehicles. It can be from a flat tire, it can be from a cigarette, it can be from chains dragging.
In addition to the Red Cliffs treatment, the Watershed Restoration Initiative has 41 other funded projects in southern Utah for the next year, which will treat over 50,000 acres. The initiative is funded by the state legislature and other organizations. This year, Besant said the DNR had to make up for federal cuts to their funding. If that isn't restored, they may have to cut back on future projects.
The shutdown has delayed decisions within the federal government, and so we made the decisions to move ahead, hopeful that those decisions would still happen.
This is a great place to keep protected so that people can get out and use the resources. It's worth keeping the habitat good for those things.
This initiative spans statewide. You can find a full list of the DNR's projects linked on our website. In St. George, Samantha Hoffman, KUTV 2 News.
Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, a rise in mold in homes in southern Utah. The main culprit and what renters should also ask their landlords before signing that lease. All right, home restoration companies in St. George, they're reporting an increase in mold in southern Utah. Something I wasn't expecting either, but one company says that they've seen at least triple the number of mold cases this year alone. Our Samantha Hoffman spoke to home restoration companies and inspectors about where they're seeing the worst cases.
Today, Jacob Bennon with Edge Restoration works on repiping a home in St. George after they found large patches of black mold.
they decided to go ahead and cut a piece open inside of here. And when they pulled that out, it was totally caked with black mold.
Just within the day, they found mold in the rental home next door as well, in the piping next to a toilet.
I think there's a lot of people that don't know about this.
Another company, Service King Restoration, said that the amount of mold cases grows steadily each year as more people spend more time in their homes. The main culprit, water damage.
Most houses have had some sort of water event in their history.
McDonald said the most serious homes are those left with consistent leaking or those left untreated. Both companies said this has led some homeowners to feel sick. Mold testing is not a standard part of home inspections. Desai Madrigal, who does home inspections, said he sees mold in about 10% of his homes.
The worst ones I've done are typically, unfortunately, they're rentals, where the landlord just either they don't fix stuff or they don't really pay enough attention to go in and fix the stuff.
McDonald said renters may not be familiar with the history of the house they are staying in. He said it is important to have conversations with landlords for transparency, as water damage could be painted over or not known about. In addition, air tests won't necessarily detect trapped mold in walls.
If you don't know where the mold is in your house, it's like chasing ghosts in there. It's very hard to determine where to even start.
Samantha Hoffman, KUTV 2 News.
Utah State University starting a new school of computing beginning July 1st. The university says it's consolidating its computing disciplines. USU says it will keep offering bachelor's and graduate degrees in computer science and will add new degrees in artificial intelligence engineering, software engineering, and data science. The university says the goal is to modernize its degree offerings and reach more prospective students. The Salt Lake City Council hosting a 2-week holiday food drive to help provide for families across the city. The city has partnered with the Food Justice Coalition. The food drive begins today and runs through Sunday, December 21st. And you can donate money online or drop off non-perishable food items at any district collection site. According to the Utah Food Bank, every dollar donated can be turned into over $7 in goods and services for families in need. Families in our community are facing hunger and they need our help. And that's why our parent company Sinclair is partnering with Feeding America for Sinclair Cares. Fill the food banks. Every dollar donated helps provide at least 10 meals. You can scan the QR code on your screen. You can go to sinclaircares.com. If you would like to make a donation, your donations have already helped raise more than $38,000.
The 2 News Salvation Army Angel Tree, presented by Cypress Credit Union and sponsored by Smith's, Whipple Service Champions, Utah Ford Stores, Balance of Nature, and Summit Sotheby's International Realty.
The 33rd annual KUTV Salvation Army Angel Tree now underway, making sure that kids and seniors have presents to open over the holidays. You can go to any Cypress Credit Union or Smith's Marketplace and pull an angel card from one of the angel trees. You can shop for your angel, return new unwrapped gifts by December 12th. If you can't shop, you can donate. Just scan the QR code on your screen and someone else will do the shopping for you.
The holidays here, but we've got mild temperatures, and I'm on Weather 1, by the way, and the snowpack here, I'll step out and see if we're gonna get to the graphics. There we go, back to the snowpack, showing that we're much healthier right now in comparison to 2 weeks ago, 69% of average, but this will kind of worsen in the days and unfortunately weeks ahead, as we're going to see a lot of melting going on with warmer weather returning to the area. Only a trace officially of snow at Salt Lake City so far this season. This is again continuing our dry streak without any snow. The average first snowfall a month ago, November 8th, is when we typically see it. So we are well behind here, the 6th latest measurable snowfall on record. Also, again, we typically see over a foot of snow during the month of December, and likely won't come anywhere close to that. So certainly a different kind of year, La Nina year, especially with the active jet stream kind of pushed further up towards the north. That's where the storms are right now in the Pacific Northwest, heading to the Midwest and Northeast. And we're on the tail end of that ridge of high pressure system, and that's going to be dealing with some warm weather here into the 50s, some sunshine, nice weather, 54 degrees, 14 degrees above normal today. Those temperatures right now up into the 40s and 30s up and down the Wasatch Front. We're at freezing cold in Heber, 38 in Provo, 41 onto the central part of the state, down through Page into the 40s as well. Some cloudier skies up towards the north in Idaho, that is, up through Wyoming into portions of the Pacific Northwest. Kind of going to get clipped by a weak system tomorrow, bringing a few isolated showers into southern Idaho, southwestern Wyoming. Few sprinkles across the valleys, more so north of Salt Lake City. We'll have the chance for that, and then it's out of here, kind of a system that won't be too impactful. What will be impactful is for portions of Wyoming, the very strong, nasty winds that we're going to be dealing with here in the days ahead. 30 to 40 mile per hour winds with gusts at times up to 70 miles per hour. So that can cause some damage for sure and make driving pretty treacherous. So please be mindful of that if you are going to be traveling further up towards the north and east. You can see those winds really whipping out of the west, southwest here over the next day and a half. So be mindful of that. The lows overnight, we're down into the 30s and 20s. Highs tomorrow into the 50s and 40s we go. St. George, you're looking at temperatures here into the 60s as we head into the weekend as well. Looking pretty good, calm, nice, beautiful weather. Across the Wasatch Front, feeling more like May than December. Temperatures here into the 50s. Really nice as we head into the weekend.
All right, Sean, thank you. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, another odd perfume. And you can win it. How you could soon be smelling like a croissant. Another company is taking perfume to a whole new level, okay? Lidl has released its Air de Croissant, a limited edition fragrance inspired by its 49-cent croissant.
I should have got this.
So if you want to smell like buttery bread,
hey, buttery
this
bread
is your moment.
That's the good stuff. It
You
comes
will
in a
smell delicious.
croissant-shaped bottle with brown tinted glass to look
Tasty.
more like roll. Shoppers can enter to win a bottle of it on Lidl's Instagram now through December 18th.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night.